Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Tomorrowaday Farms. Today we're going to work on some pull-apart garlic breads. I'm going to do that with our leftover dinner tonight. It's actually out of the freezer. It's a freezer meal. And I thought I'd show you guys how I'm going to do it. This is another way to use that simple white bread dough that I showed you. I will link it above. And all the different kinds of breads I've created out of that one recipe, I will link them all above for you. But let's get working on some Parmesan garlic crusted buns. Alright guys, so I made plain bread earlier, so now I'm just going to use the same bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of Vital Wheat gluten to this. If you don't have that, it's okay. Just omit that. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of milk powder. And I'm going to add 2 eggs and 2 teaspoons of butter. Okay? I'm going to need those in a minute. So now I'm just going to turn this on and get that kind of mixed up there. And I have a half a cup of Parmesan cheese as well, and that's going to go right into the bread dough. Just going to give that a second. Now I'm going to start adding some flour. This recipe will take up to 4 cups of flour, roughly. Depending on the day. I've had it go 5. Just really depends. Now that that's in there, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Going to be a little lighter on the salt. I'm going to make sure it's equal, because the cheese that we're going to add to the top and the cheese that's going in is salty. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour. So now I'm going to add my spices. I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic. So with adding the garlic, guys, your bread may not rise as big as it normally does. And I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of Italiano seasoning. And 2 tablespoons of parsley. Basil is also amazing in this as well. I just didn't want to have to open up a whole new jar. Now you can bake this as a loaf as well. I'm not doing that. I'm going to do little balls. You'll see that. We're going to do it in cast iron. I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese now. I'm going to add some more flour. And I'm going to get this combined, guys, and then I will bring you back when I'm all formed up. Alright guys. Sorry, Michael's outside banging. So he's upsetting the dog. Alright, so now we're just going to hand knead this for a minute. And I wanted you to see how amazing this dough is. I am so happy with this bread dough recipe. I've done ultimate bread, stuffing bread, white bread, cinnamon buns, pumpkin cinnamon buns. It's all been done with this one loaf, just morphed into different kinds. So now I'm just going to knead this for a few minutes, just to ensure everything is well incorporated. And then I'm going to tuck it on the back of my wood stove. I'm going to set my timer so I don't overmix this, or overrise this again. But it is quite chilly in here this morning, so there is, like, the dough is just, it's a little tougher today. So that's why I'm going to spend a little extra time just hand kneading it, adding very small amounts of flour to it. So I'm going to get this rising, guys, for an hour. It sometimes is a little bit less on the back of the wood stove, but not everybody has a wood stove to tuck their bread on. Alright, so I'm going to get the finished kneading this, and then I'm going to oil my bowl, put a flour sack towel over top, and then I'm going to let it rise for an hour, and I'll be back. Alright guys, here is the dough. So now, and I have my cast iron greased up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half. I'm going to put this piece to the side here, and we're going to work with this one. Okay, you can see. I'm going to bring my cast iron over, and then we're going to make some butter to go on the top. Here's my cast iron. So all I do, guys, is kind of flatten it and just cut it in roughly the same size. You can leave them as strips like this and do like garlic strips, but for today we're going to roll them in a ball like so. I'm just going to place them in the cast iron. And that's all I'm going to do, like so. Okay, do one more here, one or two more here with you. And I don't want them all the same size. This one I'm actually going to make half the size. And I'm just going to follow my cast iron here, because sometimes you want smaller ones on the inside. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to continue to do these garlic balls, and then when I get to the next step, I will bring you right back. Alright guys, so what I did with here was I melted some butter, okay? Now I'm going to get down Kiva, what I'm going to take is like a clove of garlic, and I'm just going to grate that into my butter. If I don't use all this butter, I put it in the fridge, in a jar, and use it for other things like garlic bread or whatever. I'll get that out in a second here. Alright. And then that little bit of garlic will go to my pigs. That's super good for them. Take out this little hunk of garlic here. I'm just going to put this in my pig bowl. So, now I have all this fresh garlic. I'm just gonna put this in here. Mix that up. You don't want big chunks of it, but so I'll take a minute and do that. So now I will put maybe a teaspoon of the Italiano seasoning, and the same for parsley, maybe a little bit more. Then I'm going to show you guys the bread. I worked this out perfect today because, well, supper's already in the oven. Okay. So now I'll show you the bread. There we go. And there is the bread, which is beautiful. Alright, so now all I'm going to do is butter the top. Okay, very gently, because I don't want to deflate them. Very carefully. Alright, so there we go. And then I have some shredded cheese here that I put in the freezer so it won't melt as fast and my bread will have lots of time. I'm gonna have to pause, you guys, I think, and go get my dog. Oh, Michael's gonna get her. Okay. And then when it comes out of the oven, I'll add a little more cheese to it as well. Okay. So now I'm going to pop this in a 350 oven for about 15 minutes or so. It's really just going to vary on your oven. But this is super simple, guys. Once you have that base recipe, look at the things you can do with it. So I'm going to get this in the oven before my cheese deflates my bread, and I'll meet you back here when I'm pulling it out of the oven. Alright guys, so this is what they look like. Michael's going to come in here, actually. They've cooled a very little bit. He really wants one bad. He's over there whining. So I'm just going to cut into them so you guys can see the middle. I'm surprised this is one of my favorite things that Cody loves with. This is how I get pasta into my kid. I promise him pull aparts. So, whew, so hot. So there's the bottom. And there, oh, that's hot, is the inside. Okay? Do you want one, Michael? Holy cow, they're hot. So, that is my pull-aparts. And they're nice and crusty on the bottom. They're hot. I don't think we need any more cheese.
Smell good. Bye-bye.
That'll make the Alfredo good, eh? So this is going to go with our dinner tonight. Half of these will probably go into the freezer because we won't eat this many, but I just wanted to show you in a 12-inch cast iron pan. You can get lots here. If you don't have a cast iron skillet to do them in, just do them in a simple bread pan. It'll do the same thing. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could, please share it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and hit the like button. And let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye.